Hi everybody, welcome to this quick 9 general wind direction playthrough for the division and dates shown on screen right now. All 9 holes, timestamps in the description down below. Please hit thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Remember to check out our channel homepage. There is daily quick 9 content available for multiple divisions. Please remember some of these replays may be from the time before Playdemic changed the attribute levels. On this par 4, you can absolutely, in straight tailwind, send this one with a berserker, but you might not have tailwind all the time. So here is a shot with a little bit of headwind, mainly crosswind. We're setting up at P0 max rest with our APOC, and we're going to add spin. We are going to go with 5.5 to 5.8 top spin and 2 right spin. I'll be conscious of using too much top spin here, as this is a layup shot, so that's why it looked a bit light on the top spin. Obviously, if you have level crosswind, I'd reduce that down to 5 bars, as we don't want to roll in the rough. So setting up with the ring reference as shown for your club level there, 5 and 6, obviously APOC is going to be the same. And we adjust here max plus 10. If you have a lot of headwind, then again I would set up with the rock or the quarterback and then do a club switch, take a token, find out what works nicely. Bit of curl here to take ourselves away from both the rough on the left and also the rough on the right, because it is very easy to clip the rough on both sides. The good thing about headwind though is you can play from the min line with our sniper. Make sure you have the grizzly in your bag. So from the min line, adding 5 backspin and 1 bar of side spin to the left. And I'm using the left spin so that I'm not adjusting into the stone pillar of that structure there, because that is going to really be difficult and would mess up the adjustment. So that's why I'm using the left spin, so I can set up in the middle of the fairway. Ball guide as shown there. We've got to push rings, otherwise that structure would be in the way. And we're going to play min plus 25. Min distance, 25 elevation. Obviously, if you have tailwind, as I said at the beginning of the drive video, then you should absolutely look at sending this one. Always use a token if you can get some personal tweaks and shots dialed in. But as a general approach, this one works very nicely playing from min sniper, and here we actually get the drop for the eagle. Few ways you can play this par 3. It is a tricky one though. I'm going to show you a very safe bounce up with the sniper instead. 1 backspin and 1 left spin, and I'm having the blue ring hugging the rough line at the beginning of the fairway. And you can see there's a little sticky spot and a funnel, not much of one though, but try and find a consistent spot. Ball guide pointing to the hole. You will need to vary that according to your wind angle though here. Mid-distance, 15% elevation is the general elevation I would use, and is what I use in the video here. If you want to go more aggressively, then there is a sand bump available from the right-hand bunker immediately before the green. However, you would need some practice tokens to dial that one in. Finally, as there is some tailwind here, I go with a little bit of underpower. You can investigate playing further up as well on different parts of this fairway, but it is very bumpy. But we're avoiding a glitch roll, just missing to the left-hand side on this awkward par 3. With the par 5s here, I'm just looking for safe eagle play. We're starting at plus 10 with APOC 5 and above. Blue ring touching the rough with APOC 5 and 6. Adding spin, 5.8 top spin and 3 bars side spin to the right. Adjustment max plus 0, power 3. If you have APOC level 4, you start at P3 max rest, and you would have approximately 30% of the blue ring inside the rough because of less accuracy. Make our adjustment, and then we're going with 1.25 ball curl to the right. Look at the edge of the kingmaker touching the outside tip of the triangle, and it is just before the circle drops as our overpower reference. Bouncing nicely away from the rough, over and down the middle of the next fairway. We're looking for a drive distance here of approximately 365 to 370. Second shot is going to be with the Cataclysm or the Big Dog, and we're going to add spin, and I'm going with 6.2 top spin and 1 left spin. Here with the Cat 6, I'm boxing in the red ring with the rough and the sand, but just use that as a reference. Try and set up kind of comfortably away from both so that you're not going to risk either of them with accidental overpower or a great left. Mid plus 0 here from this position. I'm not really going to bother with any slider percentage here, just a general elevation of mid plus 0, because like I said, I'm just looking to get safely to the green with a free-to-play ball for the eagle. Bouncing very nicely, and the top spin is taking us on to the green there, and we're going to get a putt, nice mid-distance putt for the eagle. Now, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do so. Details on the screen now. As part of your perks on certain days for the Quick Nines, there will be some Patreon exclusive Master General playthroughs for those holes used. So make sure you check us out there. On this par 4, we're going to drive with our APOC followed by Sniper. With APOC 5 and 6, I've got the red ring touching the rough on the left at the top of plus 10. We're adding spin, 3 top spin and 3 left spin. If you've got APOC 4, you will be at P6 max rest with 20% of the red ring overlapping the rough. Top spin obviously is going to vary depending on your wind angle. In headwind, I would play a little bit more top spin, probably about 4 bars, and in level crosswind, around 3.5 bars to get to the right point. Adjustment here is max distance with 10% elevation. Then we're going to go with some curl here. You're going to go with half a ball of curl to the left. Obviously in headwind, you will adjust into overpower, so I would suggest you set further back there and obviously let the top spin do the work. But we want to get into the middle of the dogleg part of the fairway, around 345 yards. Second shot, I'm finding my club distance here. You can bounce over with backspin, but there is a nice funnel in the rough if you find it correctly, and it will need a little bit of trial and error with the spin and the landing position, depending where you are with your drive. I'm using top spin and right spin to find the funnel from my position here. And as a recommendation, based on the attempt in the video, I would be playing the rough bump at true club distance with 15% under adjustment. So true club distance minus 15. I'm at approximately mid-distance here. It will need a practice token or two if you are playing this hole in a tournament scenario, just to dial it in. But if you find that funnel, it's a very nice route to the pin, and you don't have to adjust too many rings as you would playing a standard bounce over shot instead. Another NMT setup with the quarterback and a kingmaker here. I've dropped this with multiple wind strengths as well. We're going to go with 1.8 backspin and 1.4 right spin. Unusual spin amounts, but take a token or two. Put a tweak in if your eyes see the decimals a little bit different to me. But the adjustment here is min plus 15, power 3 settings. Min plus 15, power 3. I do 5.8 and then the remaining 5 to the bullseye. Just to have that said, try and replicate as much as you can here. And a perfect ball here, centering, no curl, no overpower, unless you're building in any tweaks. Bouncing very nicely over the rough and the sand, and we're rolling in for a hole in one. A very long par 5 here. I'm just looking for a safe eagle in the free-to-play market here, really. 5.8 top spin and 3 right spin. This is NMT with APOC 5 and above. There's a little bit of tailwind here, but not very much. Obviously, this hole gets a little bit easier if you do have more tailwind. In headwind, it is very difficult indeed. You can try and get over there, or you can try and swing the ball round to the left. In either case, though, in headwind, please make sure you pack the big dog or the cataclysm. Here, we can get away with the sniper. Max plus 10, full overpower. It's a bit of a shaky needle. Do the best you can, and we're going with outer wall curl to the right, just to go against the wind angle that we have. Just missing the rough, if you're worried about that, then obviously play with 3/4 ball or half a ball of curl instead. All depends what wind angle you have. With the tailwind on the second shot, we can use the sniper, but as I said, in other wind angles, think about the design of the hole. It is a bit of a dog leg, so if you want to make sure you're going to get there without overpower, pack the big dog or the cataclysm. Always going to play with 3 bars of left spin here. You might need to vary the top spin depending on how far you are away from the green. But bear in mind here, we don't want to overdo the top spin because the tailwind is going to push us further on than is indicated by the ball guide. Adjustment here is going to be maximum distance, 0 elevation, and that is what I would play in all wind angles. I'm Going to use some curl then to swing the ball round with our 3 left spin. I'm going with 3/4 ball curl to the left, no overpower here, make sure you haven't got any inadvertent overpower or underpower. We're bouncing very cleanly away from the rough and rolling down. You can put a bit more topspin on if you like, but we're just putting for the eagle on this long and tricky par 5. Now, although you can support us financially on Patreon, you can also join as a free member. If you do that, you will get bonus master level text guide content from the Coalition. They produce text guides for free every tournament, free to play balls, and we send those out when they do so. And they very kindly agreed to let me share their archives of all the courses used in this season of Quick Nines for you all to use, because there may be some wind angles that you get as part of the Quick Nines that they have in their archive. So you will receive those if you join us as a free member on our Patreon. We can send it to green here with a Berserker. We're going to set up with APOC 5 plus, top of plus 24. APOC 4 would be at P5 max rest. Half of the red ring inside the rough with APOC 5 and 6. Then we make our adjustment. It's going to be max plus 10, but I'm using power 3 numbers. That is deliberate, it's not a mistake. Use power 3 numbers. And if you've got APOC 4, you would probably have about 70% of the red ring inside the rough. But use Rings Bible if you want an accurate amount. Same with APOC 7 and 8. You're going to have more of the red ring on the fairway because you've got more accurate club. With APOC 5 and 6, I push up 5 rings. It's going to be slightly less rings to push up with APOC 4 because you have less accuracy, so I would estimate about 4.5 rings instead. 3/4 ball curl to the right, full overpower with a slow needle and hit perfect, but I would advise you to take a token or two. With these aggressive shots up in Master, they will need tweaking based on wind strength and wind angle. But all being well, you've got a short wedge or a putt for the eagle. Here we're going to need the APOC and the Grizzly. 2 top spin, 3 right spin, and it's the red ring touching the rough on the right with APOC 5 and 6 at the top of plus 0. APOC 4 you will be at plus 6 with 20% of the red ring overlapping the rough. Push rings to adjust, otherwise the bushes there are going to obscure your view of the rings. So push rings to adjust, max plus 0, power 3 settings. Going with some curl here, half a ball of curl to the right, and just before the circle drops as our overpower reference. Hitting perfect here. If you do adjust into overpower with APOC 4, then I would add that on accordingly, but APOC 5 you're going to be fine, and we're going to get a drive distance here of around 325 yards. Don't want to push it much further because I'm going to play rings from min with the Grizzly. So finding the minimum distance line, I've added here 2.7 top spin. Might need to vary depending on your drive distance, but then I'm counting up rings from min and having the top left of the red ring touching the rough, and then the ball guide going to the pin. Here I pushed up 7 rings from min, so I'm going to play this 9% slider. You'll see actually the tip of the ball guide is just through the back of the cup, so keep that reference, otherwise you might be short. So tweak the top spin, make sure the ball guide is going just through the back of the cup. 7 rings from min is going to be played 9% slider, 0 elevation, power 3 settings. 1 pull here because we're less than 10 rings, so no need to worry about pulling over the bullseye twice in this instance. Perfect ball away, and you have a decent chance. If your drive is too long, then you will not be able to play with the Grizzly. You'll be with Thorns, so that's why I'm deliberately going for that length of drive. A very long par 5 here. I'm just looking for a safe eagle in the free-to-play market here, really. 5.8 top spin and 3 right spin. This is NMT with APOC 5 and above. There's a little bit of tailwind here, but not very much. Obviously, this hole gets a little bit easier if you do have more tailwind. In headwind, it is very difficult indeed. You can try and get over there, or you can try and swing the ball round to the left. In either case, though, in headwind, please make sure you pack the big dog or the Cataclysm. Here, we can get away with the Sniper. Max plus 10. Full overpower, it's a bit of a shaky needle, do the best you can, and we're going with outer wall curl to the right. just to go against the wind angle that we have. Just missing the rough, if you're worried about that, then obviously play with 3/4 ball or half a ball of curl instead. All depends what wind angle you have. With the tailwind on the second shot, we can use the sniper, but as I said, in other wind angles, think about the design of the hole. It is a bit of a dog leg, so if you want to make sure you're going to get there without overpower, pack the big dog or the Cataclysm. Always going to play with 3 bars of left spin here. You might need to vary the top spin depending on how far you are away from the green. But bear in mind here, we don't want to overdo the top spin because the tailwind is going to push us further on than is indicated by the ball guide. Adjustment here is going to be maximum distance, 0 elevation, and that is what I would play in all wind angles. Going to use some curl then to swing the ball round with our 3 left spin. Going with 3/4 ball curl to the left, no overpower here, make sure you haven't got any inadvertent overpower or underpower. We're bouncing very cleanly away from the rough and rolling down. You can put a bit more topspin on if you like, but we're just putting for the eagle on this long and tricky par 5. If you are enjoying the free content here on the channel and want to help out and keep everything free, then please consider making a small donation. All donations are gratefully received and help me out here on the channel, as all of the content here is produced for free in my own spare time. You can do that in one of 3 ways. You can hit the thanks button here on YouTube, you can make a PayPal donation via the link in the description down below, or you can also join us over on Patreon. Details at the end of the video. On this par 5, looks like it's an NMT setup, but please double check your ring references just in case I'm mistaken there. We are at P6 max rest with our Apocalypse, and you can see level 5 and 6 got a bit of the blue ring overlapping the rough. In the end, I settle with 4 top spin and 2 bars of left spin. I'm actually going to go with an overpower shot here, even though it looks like I'm going to clip the rough and roll out. When I play my shot with the overpower, it will clear very nicely. Adjustment here is max plus 10. One thing to bear in mind here, I am quite close to the rough with my first bounce, so it could well be that I set up further back. You could drag the target back by about 4 or 5 yards, or go with power 4 NMT instead of power 6. Full overpower, slow needle. There you can see we are close to the rough though, so any more tailwind and that would have been dangerous. So make sure you back up your target in tailwind. But either way, we clear very nicely, drive distance of 405 yards. Crosswind here is the best chance for a rough bump, so I'm going to give it a go in this example. Finding an estimate of my true club distance. Obviously, if you're playing tournament, you could build in some reference checks, see if you can get a pin check or a fringe check if you're dialing it in according to your particular wind angle. But you can see here, I'm adding spin. With crosswind, right to left, I'm offsetting just to the right of the pin. It is tweakable. You could either adjust more if you want to aim at the pin, but with crosswind, the approach I'm using here is playing 0 elevation, true club distance. Bear in mind, if you have more tailwind, you will adjust to a lower point, so you would need to add some clicks of overpower. And similarly, if you have headwind, you adjust up onto the green, which is going to cause you to gain distance, so you might need to go with a click of underpower instead. This rough bump is a little bit technical. I would suggest you practice it, otherwise you might get stuck in the sand if you don't put in enough tweaks for your wind angle that you have. But 0 elevation, true club distance is a very good starting point indeed. Just needed a small tweak to get that one to drop. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.